unbelievable. It's unbelievable that this product exists in 2025. When I first met the Honda QC1 in November last year, I remember asking the question, why Honda? Why? And after riding this today, I can tell you that Honda has come out with this electric scooter to make the buying decision so much easier for scores of buyers across India, but not in the way that you might think. And over the course of the next few minutes, I'll try and explain why. I am a deeply disappointed Amaan Ahmed. You're watching Carandbike. If you haven't done it already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time we come out with a new review video, a walk around, or a video on buying tips. Now, on to the QC1. The first area where the QC1 lets you down is just in the way it looks. It is one thing to design a simple looking scooter and quite another to come up with something that looks like it was lazily done. And unfortunately, the QC1 appears to fall in the latter category. The front of the scooter is similar to that of the Activa E, but the rear of the scooter is completely disconnected from the front. And I feel this is a design that will start to age really quickly. Also, you will find no 3D emblems on this scooter. In fact, there's barely any Honda anywhere on the scooter. You will have to look closely to find it within the headlight enclosure and at the back of the seat. And you only have QC1 decals scattered across the scooter. It rides on a 12-inch alloy front wheel, and at the rear you have a 10-inch wheel, so the stance looks unbalanced. And to my eyes, this is one of the blandest looking scooters that you can buy in India today. The feeling of the QC1 being a bare basic scooter is even more prominent when you get on it. The quality of the grips, the quality of the switch gear is all ordinary. The multifunction lock looks like it belongs on a scooter from the 2010s. Yes, the scooter does manage to claw back some ground with its practicality. It has a decent sized pocket up front where you can store your wallet, your phone. There's a USB Type-C charge port, and under the seat you will find 26 liters of storage. Not the best we've seen, but still acceptable. But you still have a negative LCD cluster on the QC1, and it's confounding to me because even the Activa 110 is now available with a color TFT display. So why couldn't it have made it to the QC1? But what's truly shocking about the QC1 is its performance, or rather the lack of it. You see, the specs of the scooter made it clear that this won't be quick, and today, having experienced it, I can tell you that it is actually painfully slow. This scooter has a hub motor which develops a continuous output of 1.2 kilowatt and a peak output of 1.8 kilowatt. And yes, the performance matches those numbers. You can ride the QC1 in one of two modes, economy and standard. Economy limits you to a top speed of just 30 kilometers an hour, and I found it to be practically unusable even in the city. When you want to tackle flyovers when you're on the highway, you have to switch to standard mode, but even then your top speed is limited to just 50 kilometers an hour. Today when I hit that speed, I could feel the scooter gently pulling me back, and at that speed you're getting smoked by practically everybody else on the road. Today I got passed by the most basic Ola S1 that you can buy. I got passed by Splendors. I was trailing Activas that looked like they had not been serviced in a decade. That's how slow the QC1 is. So now I'm out with the QC1. There's not a lot of information on the display. As you can see, there's just the speed indicator, there's the battery charge status indicator, the distance I've covered on this trip, and the ride mode that I have selected. Does not have a distance to empty display for some reason. A little bit of an open stretch. Let's see how it gathers pace. As you can see, I've opened the throttle wide, but that's about as fast as the scooter will go, 53 kilometers an hour. At 53, it sort of runs into a wall. And when you're on the highway, you just have to sit with the throttle wide open like this. It gets uncomfortable after a point of time because it won't cruise at this speed. If I let go of the throttle here, it'll start to slow down a little bit. Interestingly, there is no regen on the scooter. It feels reasonably stable, but then what scooter doesn't at 53 kmph? That being said, this at 89 kg is quite light. And when it gets a little breezy, you feel the scooter starting to sway a lot more than your regular petrol powered scooters. And the thing is, you can't really switch from standard to economy on the go, because doing that slows the scooter down dangerously. I'll just try and show you what I mean by that now. I'm in standard right now. The moment I switch to economy, the scooter just starts to slow down, and there's no warning, there's no sign for anybody who's telling you to know that you will be slowing down. This is borderline dangerous in my opinion, and this is why you can never really switch to economy on the move. I feel economy is a mode that you just cannot use even when in the city. You will have to stick to standard ride mode at all times. The ride quality is a little bit on the stiffer side, and it can get lumpy over broken surfaces. After a fairly long time of riding it this morning, I have to say that I don't feel entirely comfortable. The riding position is fine, but the ride quality and the firmness of the seat make sure that that you won't be feeling too fresh after a long stint on the QC1. Okay, let's try and check what the acceleration is like on the QC1 from 0 to 40 kilometers an hour in standard mode. It takes a while to get to 40 kilometers an hour. Honda claims a time of almost 9.4 seconds, and it does feel that slow. This is not a scooter that you can ride in a spirited manner anyway. So to talk about handling and grip would probably be futile in the case of the QC1, because at 52 kilometers an hour it rides and handles like just about any other entry-level scooter that you can think of. Even to just pass slow-moving traffic, you have to be at practically full throttle, which I think defeats the purpose of having something like an economy mode in the first place. A lot of it comes down to its battery size and range. The QC1 has a 1.5 kilowatt hour battery, which is the smallest we've seen on an electric scooter in India so far. And ultimately, with a battery that small, you have to conserve range, which is why the performance is configured the way it is. The range, Honda says, is up to 80 kilometers on the IDC, but today, having consumed 56% battery charge, I was only able to cover around 39 kilometers, which means this scooter, ridden in standard mode at a speed of around 50, will struggle to touch even 60 kilometers on the daily cycle. And you do have a charge port. You get a 330 watt charger with the QC1, but it will take a long time to charge the scooter to full. Around 7 hours is the time quoted. So even when you need to replenish the QC1, you won't be able to do it quickly. You know, when a new product arrives onto the scene, it usually complicates things for buyers in that particular segment, because it is another great choice. The QC1 does the exact opposite. It highlights how well priced its rivals are. This one is priced at 90,000 rupees despite being as basic as it is, and that is an introductory price. Not too far off the entry-level prices of the base TVS iQube and the base Bajaj Chetak. Both of those scooters have far more to offer in every respect. And what's deeply disappointing about the QC1 is that this is the scooter that Honda will take to all parts of the country, not the Activa E, because that will only be available in 3 cities to begin with. This is the electric scooter that people across the country will associate with Honda, and Honda has failed to make a lasting impression with the QC1. It does not stand out in any respect. What's deeply disappointing to me is that with the QC1, Honda has not even tried to break any new ground. Let's talk about warranties, for example. Honda is the market leader in scooters, and yet the QC1 is available with only a 3-year or 50,000 kilometer warranty, which is only par for the course and not the best the industry has to offer. Also, the scooter does not qualify for FAME subsidies at this point. The QC1 feels like an opportunity squandered, because as evolved as India's electric scooter market is, it is really waiting for somebody to come in and take it by the scruff of its neck. And Honda had the chance to do that, but clearly the QC1 is not cut out for that. In summary, the QC1 works as a scooter in the same way 2 plain slices of bread would work as a sandwich. No butter, no filling. It will work as a meal, but would you really want to eat that? That's our take on the QC1. But let us know, what do you think of Honda's fixed battery electric scooter? What are the changes that you think Honda could make to it to make it more appealing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed watching this video and found it informative, then remember to give us the thumbs up. And if you know somebody who should know what the Honda QC1 is like, then remember to share this video with them.